folks. We got the S&Ps up by 8 points right now. We jump over the dollar. You get the dollar right now at 97.54. And right now, folks, we're going to talk to our man Teddy Kekstadt. We talk to Teddy every Wednesday at 40 past the hour. You can check out Teddy's outstanding Tiger Forex Report, folks. Comes out Mondays with new issues. Updates throughout the week when warranted. You gain access to a great webinar Teddy did as well. And don't forget, right under the services tab, he's got 2 great webinars. Capitalizing on time with calendar stock option spreads. $97 in Japanese candlestick pattern stock and option strategies. Teddy's written a book on candlestick patterns as well. Check out those 2 great webinars as well. Teddy Kekstadt, good morning.
Good morning, Tommy. We've got an interesting day in the dollar index.
All right, let's, we got a new Fed chair nomination since the last time we talked. We got a little action. What do we got going in the dollar, Teddy?
Well, yesterday, Monday, we had a follow-through move off of the rally that started last week. I mean, we have quite a swing low that was set, and yesterday was an inside day, and now so far today, the dollar index is inside yesterday's range. So the coil is starting to get tight, and we'll see which way it springs. I've been talking about divergence for the past few weeks, and it's pretty eminent today. You can see how there's not much movement in the pound. You got some movement in the yen and the Canada. So in certain currencies, the dollar has definitely got a nice little bid. Some currencies, not so much, especially like when you're looking at the euro, which is also kind of sagging. I kind of like the euro where it's at, though, this morning. I think that even if we don't have a big move today, it's probably going to be neutral to higher. So you're probably going to see maybe a little bit of a pullback in the dollar index and probably in the dollar as well today over the course of the day.
Nice. I got a couple questions for you in the Tiger's Den, and I love how, folks, check out the Tiger Forex Report. You do such a great job, Teddy, breaking down the individual pairs. People always focus big picture, and they want to hear the dollar, but you do such a great job, and I know you've been talking to us about some of those individual pairs, and it not just being the basket. But in general, we got first question. What's your dollar prediction for this year in terms of where we go? Do you have one with the new Fed chair? Any clarity, or where we're sitting at 97.50 right now, and that's the question out there.
That's a great question. Well, you know what, to be quite honest with you, I think that if you're looking at where we're going to be 12 months from now, I would think that you're probably going to be slightly lower, but I wouldn't say drastically lower. Just like I said, there's divergence in the markets. So a lot of it has to do with what kind of central bank actions we have moving forward in the course of the year, and especially if they have a lot of quantitative raising. If the ECB and now the BOJ, that's going to be an interesting bank to watch moving forward still. But when it comes to them, the Japanese don't move very quickly when it comes to central banks. I would say that before they do a rate hike, they'll do some quantitative raising. And that's the thing you really want to watch, because that's going to influence the interest rate markets, especially the short terms. And should that occur, then you're going to have some definitely influences on those currencies as well, meaning that you'll have pressure on the dollar, because we're going to be most likely, we already know that the administration is going to be leaning on the Fed to be cutting rates, and as we move forward through 2026, especially once we have the new Fed chairman. I think that you're going to probably see the dollar index lower. As far as how much lower, I can give you a ballpark. If we go on a monthly basis, I think you could probably see the dollar index back to, maybe around the 92 even area. But that's not really saying that much. That's going back to, last time we were in that area, we're looking at back in 2021, and that was, we know what was going on back then. And that would also be in the bottom part of the range that the dollar index has been in for the past now 10 years. If you really look at it, the low, we crossed basically the 88 barrier back in 2014. So now we're in 2026. So even if we were to get back to that level, it's not like the dollar is going to be that extreme. Is it coming off of its highs? Well, yeah, but that's not that big of a, you're looking at a 20% correction off of its highs over the course of 4 years, 5 years. That's not a big deal when you consider what we've gone through when you start out with, from 2020 just to 23, let alone from 23 to the beginning of 2026, right? We've had a lot of, action as far as globally, let alone within our country. So I think that the dollar it spiked up to a nice high level. This is also very, very good for us as far as our exports and for the economy moving forward. It helps strengthen the infrastructure for our company. So I think it's a good thing that the dollar actually even falls back to those areas.
You make some great points, man, and I've talked about on this chart. You say 90, and boy, that's hanging out there for sure. And what's amazing there is that was also, Teddy, we had a high of like in 2004. That was an area of a little bit of resistance. That's kind of where you topped out in 2005. That 90 area, we got back up there in 2009 almost. You got back up there almost in 2010. So that area, in terms of a technical area. But when you look at the dollar on a longer-term basis, and we were just at 100, right? Now we're under it at 97, but we're just at 100 in the in the middle of 25. The only time that the dollar is actually weaker than about 100, stronger than 100, right? The only time, going back to like 2002, was just that period of COVID. 2022, 23, and 24. Outside of that, most of the time of this entire monthly chart, you are well below 100. So I would agree that it's not exactly just some, massive destruction. Now, weakness versus strength. But,
right.
There's only a few year period there, going back almost 25 years, where the dollar really has been stuck under 100. And if it's over, and we're at 97. So, yeah, that's not exactly... And, right, to make the point, because I don't think a lot of people would appreciate that. You get recency bias, right, Teddy? It's like, man, we're down from 115, we're at 97. It's like, well, we were under 100 for a very long time, folks. And things, hey, Hey, what do you think about oil? That's the next question. What's your take on oil? I know the Tigers and Tigresses, they love your takes on oil. Oil, you talk to us about the U.S. We're a producer, of course. You talk about Japan. They're a consumer, how that impacts. What do you think about crude? We've got a little bit here.
Yeah, we have a bid. I don't like it at the prices it's at. Nobody does. But I still think it's top heavy where it's at right now. I really do.
Nice.
I don't see it. I don't see it climbing into the 70s or anything like that. There's really no. I just would. If you're gonna try and be a bull in this market, I would be very cautious with it, and I make sure you're somehow covered very quick. Or keep your stops tight. Because I could see oil selling off in a big way where it wouldn't be. I mean, maybe let's say we even spike up to like 69. Even we're to spike up at $70. If we hit that area, we're coming back to where we are right now very quickly. And I think we're more likely to go down to like 62 or $60 than we are to push $70. Just as far as on an odds basis.
Appreciate the take, man. Hey, let me ask you, did you see any of that outdoor game between Tampa and Boston with a goalie fight in an overtime game?
I did see a little bit of that. Yeah, how about that?
How about those games, man? I know you're a huge hockey guy. It was pretty cool. And who do you got in the Super Bowl, Teddy? You got to pick the Patriots, the Seahawks. Who you root for? Anybody?
I'm going for the Patriots, and I can't believe the line hasn't. I can't believe the line hasn't moved. But I figure if it goes to +5, I'm jumping on it for the Patriots. But I'm going to go with the Patriots anyway because I don't see them going.
That's a trader right there, folks. Risk reward, right? It's capitalizing on some value. I love it.
Look at the money line; it's insane.
I love it. Teddy, thank you so much. Folks, check out the Tiger Forex Report, those couple great webinars under the Services tab. We'll talk to you next week, Teddy. Thanks so much.
Take care.
Take care. We're coming back, folks.